First question. Radius of gyration of a body depends on. Can anyone tell me better? Radius of gyration. I is equals to m into your k square. So k square is equals to I divided by your m. That means k will be equal to under root of your I divided by your m. So radius of gyration will depend upon the moment of inertia, mass of the body, and also the axis of rotation. So when it is depending on the mass means it is also depending upon the shape. So it is depending on the shape of the body and also the axis of rotation. So both B, A and B will be the answer. Done, beta? Radius of gyration of a body depends both on the shape of the body and also on the axis of rotation. Is it clear? Sure. Next one. The moment of inertia of a disk of mass capital M and radius R about an axis which is tangential to the circumference of the disk and parallel to its diameter will be equal to your how much? We have got a disk, beta. This is your disk R. So this is your total disk. Moment of inertia, mass of this one is capital M, radius is R about an axis which is tangential to the circumference. That means somewhere here. And parallel to its diameter, that means completely passing through the diameter. Okay, so I can apply the parallel axis theorem. I is equals to your ICM plus of your M into your R square. Moment of inertia about the diameter will be equal to how much, beta? This one is ICM is about the diameter plus M into your R square. We know that I along your diameter will be equal to your how much? 2 times of your IZ. Isn't it? Moment of inertia about your diameter. Ix plus of your Iy. Ix plus of your Iy is equals to Iz. This one is Id plus of your Id is equals to Iz. 2 times of your Id is equals to Iz. So moment of inertia about diameter is Iz divided by 2. Moment of inertia for the disk about the axis is mr square by 2 for the disk divided by 2. That means this is mr square divided by 4. So moment of inertia about the diameter of the disk is m into r square divided by 4 plus m into your r square. So mr square is common, 1 by 4 plus 1. That is equals to how much? 5. So it is 5 mr square divided by 4. First option will be the answer. How many of you are given the answers? Only 2. So moment of inertia of the disk about of mass capital M and radius capital R about an axis which is tangential to the circumference of the disk and parallel to its diameter is 5 by 4 times of M into R square. Clear, beta? This is rotational mechanics question. It is escape velocity question. That means gravitation. We'll do it later. Okay. When axis of rotation passes through its center of mass, the moment of inertia of the rigid body. Good question, beta. When the axis of rotation passes through the center of mass, then the moment of inertia of the body is reduced to its minimum value, 0, increased to its maximum value, infinity. Can anyone give me the answer? Option A, exactly. It will be reduced to your minimum value. When it is passing through the axis, the moment of inertia of the rigid body will be reduced to the minimum value. Next one. The moment of inertia of a body depends on. The moment of inertia of a body depends on I is equals to M into your R square. Angular velocity of the body, angular acceleration of the body, mass of the body, distribution of the mass, and the axis of rotation. No, Karun, you have done the wrong. Moment of inertia of a body will depend on D, beta. Yeah, it also depends upon the distribution of mass and axis of rotation. Not only on the mass, how you distribute the mass is also important there. So it is the distribution of the mass and the axis of rotation. Fourth option will be the answer. Next one. If there is change in angular momentum from J to 4J in 4 seconds, then the torque is, good question. Can anyone try it, beta? Torque is nothing but what, beta? Rate of change of angular momentum. Tau is equals to dl divided by dt. That means final angular momentum minus initial angular momentum divided by your t. So angular momentum is from J to 4J. That means it is 4J minus J divided by T. That means this is 3J divided by T. This must be the answer. 3 divided by, time is how much? How much time? 4 seconds. Okay. So it is 3J divided by 4 seconds. Second option. B. Done? Next one. If the equation for the displacement of a particle moving on a circular path is given by theta is equals to 2t cube plus 0.5, where theta is in radians and t in seconds, then angular velocity of the particle at t is equals to 2 seconds is how much? Given for me in the problem, theta is equals to 2t cube plus 0.5. We need what, beta? Angular velocity. That means omega. Omega is equals to dt divided by dt. So that is equals to your d. Differentiation of theta, 2 into t cube plus 1 by 2 divided by dt. Okay. So that is your 2. Differentiation of your t cube divided by dt. Differentiation of is 0. So it is 2 into 3 into, differentiation of that one is how much for me, beta? T to the power of n minus 1, that is 3 minus 1. So it is 6 into t square. Okay. So at what time is asking? 2 seconds. Okay. So at t is equals to 2 seconds, omega will be equal to 6 into 2 whole square. That is equals to 6, 2 square is 4. 6 4s are 24. So answer is 24 radians per second. 24 radians per second. Option A. Next one. A body of mass 5 kg is moving in a circle of radius 1 meter. Okay. This is your circle of radius 1 meter. And mass is given for me 5 kg. With an angular velocity, that means omega. Omega is equals to 2 radians per second. Centripetal force is how much? Can you tell me what is centripetal force, beta? Centripetal force formula, Fc is equals to m into v square divided by r. So v is equals to how much for me? R into omega. So it is m into r square omega square divided by r. This square will get cancelled. So it is mr into omega square. So centripetal force is equals to m into r into omega square. Mass is 5, radius is 1, omega is 2 square. So it is 5 into 4. 5 4s are 20. 20 Newton must be the answer. Very good. Next one. The moment of inertia of a regular circular disk of mass 0.4 kg and radius 100 centimeter about an axis perpendicular to the plane of the disk and passing through its center is how much? Moment of inertia of the regular circular disk. Mass is given as 0.4 kg and radius is given as 100 centimeter about an axis perpendicular to the plane of disk. Okay, and passing through its center. So this one is your circular disk. This is your axis passing through its center. Perpendicular to the plane of the disk and passing through its center. What is the moment of inertia, beta? I is equals to your m into r square divided by 2 along the axis passing through the center and perpendicular to the plane. So it is half Mass is given how much for me? 0.4 into radius is 100 centimeter. Down. 100 centimeter. 100 centimeters means how much beta? 1 meter. So it is your 1 whole square. So that will be equal to your, how much beta? 0.4 means 4 by 2 into 10. 2 ones are 2 twos are. So it is 2 by 10. That will be equal to 0.2 kg meter square. 0.2 kg meter square. Third option will be the answer. Very good. Next one. A rod of length 1.4 meter and negligible mass has two masses, 0.3 kg and 0.7 kg tied to its two ends. Find the location of the point on this rod where the rotational energy is minimum when the rod is rotated about that point. Can you try it, beta? A rod of length 1.4 meter. Okay, this is the rod. Length of this one is 1.4 meter. Negligible mass has two masses, 0.3 kg and 0.7 kg tied to its end. So one is here 0.3, another one is here 0.7 kg. This one is 0.3 kg. Find the location of the point on this rod where the rotational energy is minimum. So because of the difference in the mass, what happens? It starts rotating somewhere here, isn't it? Because this starts moving the downward direction and this will be moving in upward direction. Find the location of the point on the rods where the rotational energy is minimum. See, for rotational energy to be minimum, moment of inertia of the system about an axis through the point must be the minimum. Like say if this point is somewhere at your distance of x from point 3, the remaining distance will be 1.4 minus of your x. Okay. So what will be the moment of inertia of this body? I is equals to 0.3 into your x square plus another mass is 0.7 into 1.4 minus of your x whole square. Okay. For rotational energy to be minimum, moment of inertia about your axis of point must be minimum on which it is rotating. Okay, so that is the reason I'm using I is equals to mr square formula. So now in order to get the minimum, you know the concept of maxima and minima, di by your dx must be equal to 0. Okay, so di divided by dx must be equal to 0. That means the differentiation of option A. How we got option A, beta? Can you share it? Nandini? Di divided by your dx must be equal to 0. Differentiation of your 0.3 into your x square plus 0.7 into 1.4 minus of your x whole square divided by your dx must be equal to 0. I equated both the equations, sir. Which equations, beta? How? Very good. Okay. So differentiation of this one must be equal to 0. Yeah, you can even do like that, no problem. That means 0.3 into your x square will be equal to minus of 0.7 into 1.4 minus of your x square. To simplify for your x beta, you will be getting x is equals to 0.98 meters. Done? So what is the thing you have learned? For rotational energy to be the minimum on your straight line, the moment of inertia about that point must be minima. That means di by dx must be equal to 0. Done? Next one. 11th one. A body is projected from the ground with some angle to the horizontal. What happens to the angular momentum about the initial position on this motion? Body is being projected from the ground. That means if I'm drawing the diagram for this one, y-axis and x-axis. You projected the body making an angle of a theta. So obviously it will make a projectile and reach the ground. What happens to the angular momentum about the initial position in its motion? That means this is your point of projection beta. A body is projected from the ground with some angle theta to horizontal. What happens to angular momentum about the initial position of this motion at anywhere right now? Here, 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 anywhere. The weight of the body always acts in the downward direction. Velocity of the particle will be in this direction. So about the point 4, the angular momentum of the projectile will be in which direction beta? Clockwise direction. L is equals to I omega. So the torque on the projectile will be equal to how much beta? About the point O. Clockwise. So angular momentum will be increasing. So what happens to the angular momentum? Angular momentum increases. Okay. Sure. Next one. Two masses are attached to a rod end to end. If the torque is applied, they rotate with an angular acceleration alpha. If the distances are doubled and same torque is applied, then they move with your angular acceleration how much? Two masses are being attached to a rod like this. Okay, two masses are attached to a rod end to end. If torque is applied, they rotate with an angular acceleration alpha. Okay, here there is a mass m1, here there is a mass m2, and this is your center. This is your r, and this one is also your r. Okay, a torque is applied, they rotate with an angular acceleration alpha. If their distances are doubled, okay, first I'll write for the first condition. Moment of inertia is equals to your m1 into your r square plus m2 into your r square. So it is your m1 plus of your m2 into your radius of this one is nothing but r square. See, in this one, when you're differentiating this part of relation, you better try to do the differentiation. Expanding this everything. One axis will be getting the relation. You do it, otherwise I'll help you out with that one, not a problem. Sure. So two masses are attached to a rod end to end. If the torque is applied, they rotate with an angular acceleration alpha. About the center, it rotates with an angular acceleration of your alpha. If the distances are doubled and the same torque is applied, okay, that means it is rotating about its center of mass beta. So this is your moment of inertia. Now when you are increasing the moment of inertia for this one, I can write this one as of your I dash is equals to m1 plus of your m2. Now distance is doubled. That means 2r into whole square. That means this is m1 plus m2 into your 4 times of your r square. That means I dash is becoming for me 4 times of your I. What is asking? Their distances are doubled and same torque is applied. They move with an angular acceleration is how much? Okay. So torque formula tau is equals to I into alpha. So tau dash will be equal to your I dash into your alpha dash. So tau dash will be equal to I dash value is 4 times of your I into your alpha dash, isn't it? So tau dash value is equal to how much for me, beta? In terms of moment of inertia is asking, na? So it is tau dash is equals to your in terms of your alpha. So it is your I dash into your alpha dash is equals to 4 times of your I into your tau dash. Not getting this one, just a minute. Same torque, na? So I can equate both of the moment of inertia so that I can do it out. So as torque is same, I can write tau is equals to tau dash. So I into alpha will be equal to I dash into alpha dash. So alpha dash will be equal to I into alpha divided by I dash. That is I into alpha divided by I dash is how much I got? 4 times of I. So this I will get cancelled. So it is alpha by 4. Fourth option. Done. Next one. If the Earth is treated as a sphere of radius r and mass capital M, its angular momentum about the axis of rotation will be equal to how much? Now for solid sphere, you know the moment of inertia, beta? 2 by 5 mr square. About the axis, angular momentum is asking in terms of time period. That means angular momentum is conserved, so L will be equal to I into omega, isn't it? Moment of inertia is how much for me? The Earth is treated as a sphere of radius r and mass m. Its angular momentum about the axis of rotation. Moment of inertia is 2 by 5 m into r square into time period is 2 pi by capital T. That means this will become for me 4 into m into r square into your pi divided by 5 into your T. So it is 4 pi mr square divided by 5t. Second option. Option B. Okay. Next one. The angular momentum of a moving body remains constant if net external force is 0, net external torque is 0, net pressure is applied, net external torque is not applied. What will be the answer, beta? Net external, as it is a rotation, net external torque must be equal to 0. If tau net torque acting on the system is 0, L is conserved. L is conserved. That means initial angular momentum will be equal to final angular momentum. Which option? Yeah, D. Net external torque is not applied. That must be the answer for that. This question. In an orbital motion, the angular momentum vector is along the radius vector parallel to the linear momentum in the orbital plane perpendicular to the orbital plane. Anyone? Angular momentum is always perpendicular to the plane, beta, because L is equals to perpendicular distance. Na? L is equals to R perpendicular into P bar will write. Isn't it? Isn't it? So when if you use the what we call the cross product relation for this one, right hand thumb rule, that will give me the answer. In an orbital motion, the angular momentum of the vector angular momentum is in the circular motion something like this. Okay, and this is your charge particle. So this is your momentum m into v, and this is your distance, perpendicular distance wanted for the angle 90 degrees. So it is L bar cross P bar along the radius vector parallel to the linear vector in the orbital plane perpendicular to the orbital plane. Obviously perpendicular to the orbital plane. Take your right hand thumb rule. A bar cross B bar is equals to mod A mod B into your sine theta. Use right hand thumb rule. Take your right hand and close the vector from R bar to B bar. The thumb is in the direction of rotation and which is perpendicular to the orbital plane. Next question. A horizontal platform is rotating with uniform angular velocity around the vertical axis, passing through its center. At some instant of time, a viscous fluid of mass m is dropped at the center and is allowed to spread out and finally fall. The angular velocity during this period is how much? Good question, beta. Anyone? A horizontal platform is rotating with uniform angular velocity around the vertical axis. This is your vertical axis. At some instant of time, a viscous fluid of mass m is dropped at the center. Okay, some drop has been dropped here and is allowed to spread out and finally fall. Okay, after a certain interval of time, it is allowed to spread on this one and finally falling. That means mass is increasing, na beta? So as there is no external force acting on the system, so angular momentum is conserved. So I1 omega 1 must be equal to I2 omega 2. So when a viscous liquid is been dropped beta, it starts spreading out and its moment of inertia will be increasing because mass is increasing. As I increases, angular velocity decreases. Because when mass increases, moment of inertia also increases. So when moment of inertia increases, angular velocity decreases. But when it starts falling, then again its moment of inertia starts decreasing. When liquid falls, what happened to the moment of inertia? Starts decreasing. So angular velocity increases. So what will be the answer? Decreases initially and increases again. B. Sure. If a solid sphere of mass 1 kg and radius 0.1 meter rolls without slipping at a uniform velocity of 1 meter per second along a straight line on a horizontal floor, the kinetic energy is how much? Anyone? Solid sphere of mass 1 kg and radius 0.1 meter. Mass is given for me. Mass is equals to 1 kg and radius is equals to 0.1 meter rolls without slipping at a uniform velocity. V is equals to 1 meter per second along a straight line on a horizontal floor. The kinetic energy is how much? Okay. So as the body is rolling, so kinetic energy will be equal to sum of rotational and translation. Yesterday I told you the formula half into m into v square into your 1 plus of your I mr square, isn't it? So it is plus, I'll write directly, otherwise I'll do it out. Half into I into omega square. V is equals to R omega. So omega is equals to V by R. So it is equals to half into m into v square plus half into I into v square divided by R square. Okay, what type of a body it is? Solid sphere. Okay, you know the moment of inertia for solid sphere? Half into m into v square plus half into I will be equal to 2 by 5 into m into your R square into v square divided by R square. R square will get cancelled. So that will be equal to your half into m into v square common 1 plus 2 by 5. 1 plus 2 by 5 is how much beta? 7 by 5. So it is half into mass is given 1. Velocity is also 1. So it is your 7 by 5. So it will be your 7 by 10 joules. Kinetic energy will be equal to 7 by 10 joules. Very good. Done, beta? Next one. Sides of an equilateral triangle is L. 3 point masses, each of magnitude m, are placed at the 3 vertices of a triangle. Moment of inertia of this system about one side of the triangle as the axis will be equal to your how much? Anyone? Sides of an equilateral triangle is L. 3-point masses, each of magnitude m, are placed at the three vertices of an equilateral triangle. Moment of inertia of this system about one side of the triangle as axis. One side of the triangle as an axis. Anyone? This is your triangle. This is L, and this is L. 3-point masses, 1, this one is 2, and this one is 3. Of mass m each. Okay, this one is m, this one is m, this one is m. And the three vertices of an equilateral triangle. Moment of inertia of this system about one side of the triangle. That means something like this. About one side of this axis, like this. Or any one axis you can take. So this will be the center, this will be the perpendicular distance. So moment of inertia because of this m at point A and point B. Moment of inertia of A and moment of inertia of your B will become 0. That will be moment of inertia only because of your C, that will be equal to your m into your r square. Okay. So distance of the corner mass from the opposite side. This is the corner mass from your opposite side. This distance we need to calculate. This is an equilateral triangle, beta. So this angle is 30 degrees. This is your L. So this will become for me cos. This will become for me sine. So moment of inertia of C will be equal to m into, this is your r perpendicular. So r perpendicular will be equal to how much, beta? This is your L, this is your cos. This will be equal to your sine. So r perpendicular will be equal to your L into sine 30 degrees. So that is equals to your L into sine 30 is how much, beta? Root 3 by 2. So it is L into root 3 by 2 whole square. So that will become for me m into L square into 3 divided by 4. So it is 3 ml square divided by 4. A will be the answer. Sure. Next one. What is the moment of inertia of the cylinder of radius r along its height? Anyone better? What will be the answer, beta? Anyone? What is the moment of inertia of a cylinder of radius r along its height? This is your cylinder. This one is your axis. This is the radius r. Along its height is asking. Along its height means the axis is completely passing through the diameter. Okay. Moment of inertia of the cylinder. Cylinder is like what? Disc. Yeah. So moment of inertia about this one is mr square by 2. I will be equal to your m into r square divided by 2. Next one. What is the moment of inertia of your solid sphere with respect to a tangent touching its surface? Anyone? This is your solid sphere and this is your tangent. An axis is being passing through the diameter like this. Distance between them is nothing but r. So moment of inertia about the tangent will be equal to your ICM plus of your m into your r square. Moment of inertia along center of mass means along diameter only. That is 2 by 5 into m into r square plus of your m into r square. Mr square common 2 by 5 plus 1 is 7 by 5. So it is 7 by 5 m into your r square. B will be the answer. Done? Sure, next one. So only we got 20 questions today on this one. See the calculation of this one, beta. You can do with the differentiation part, or else you can use the concept of moments. Concept of your moments. That is m1 x1 plus of your m2 x2 must be equal to 0, isn't it? Or else m1 x1 will be equal to your another one is equal to how much for me? One of the mass is negative x-axis, that is minus. So if I remove this minus, this is minus, this is your m2 into your x2. This minus will get cancelled. So it is m1 x1 will be equal to your m2 into x2. I can use this relation. M1 is how much better for me? One mass is how much for me? Or 0.3. One distance is x, another one is 0.7. Into distance is how much for me? 1.4 minus x. Point and point will go here. 3 into your x will be equal to 7 into 1.4 minus x. So this will be equal to 3x is equals to, this will be equal to how much beta? 9.778 minus 7. Minus 7 it will come here. It will become for me 10x is equals to 9.8. So x will be equal to 9.8 divided by 10. That will be equal to 0.98 meter. I can use this concept also. Today, very less students have been joined, beta. 1, 2. Zaid Afnan. Zaid Afnan. Karan, your rotation mechanics is completed, beta. Assignments also which have been sent to you. Try this question, beta. two equal and opposite forces are applying tangentially to a uniform disk of mass capital M and radius capital R as shown in figure. If the disk is pivoted at its center and free to rotate in its plane, the angular acceleration of disk is this is your disk and you are applying two opposite forces, one force on this one like this, one force on this one like this, and radius of this one is capital R. Come on. Two equal and opposite forces are applying tangentially to a uniform disk of mass capital M, radius R as shown in figure. If the disk is pivoted at its center and free to rotate in its plane, angular acceleration is how much? Now apply the torque concept for this one, better. Force into perpendicular distance will make the body to rotate like this. This is also force into perpendicular distance. It will make the body to rotate in this one. So sense of rotation for both of them is same. So tau is equals to tau 1 plus of your tau 2. So it is your force into perpendicular distance plus this one is also force into perpendicular distance. That is 2 times of F into R. Tau will be equal to how much, better? I into alpha, isn't it? So alpha will be equal to 2 into F into R divided by your I. So it is equals to 2F into your R divided by moment of inertia of the disk is how much, better? M into your R square divided by your 2. Isn't it? So this will become for me how much? 4F into R divided by M into your R square. This square will get cancelled. So 4 into F divided by M into your R. So that will be the angular acceleration. So alpha is equals to 4F divided by M into capital R. 8F, how 8F, better? I'm getting 4. Can you cross check it once? Check it better once. Okay. One more application. For equilibrium of the system, value of mass M should be, this is system given, better. This is your rod and here somewhere there is a fulcrum support. And here we are having a body of mass, like say for example 12 kg. And here we are having a body of mass of 3 kg. Somewhere here I am keeping another body of mass M. This M is how much? From here to here, this distance is say for example L. And from here to here, this distance is say for example L by 2. And from here to here, this distance is again equal to your L. Okay. Can you try it better? System is in equilibrium. When it is equilibrium means net force acting on the system must be equal to 0. That means weight of this body that is 12g in the downward direction. Weight of this body 3g in the downward direction. Weight of this body mg in the downward direction. Okay. So where is the mass more better? This is more mass, so it will move in this downward direction, and this will move in which direction? Obviously in the opposite direction. If this body is moving in the downward direction, this body as it is in equilibrium, so the net torque must be in the same direction, isn't it? So this should also be in the same direction. They should also be in the same direction as beta. This is in anti-clockwise direction. This one will be in the clockwise direction. So I can say that torque in your clockwise direction must be equal to torque due to anti-clockwise must be equal to torque due to clockwise. So it is 12 into, this one is about this axis if I'm taking right now, this will be equal to your L is equals to your mg into your L by 2 plus this one is nothing but of your 3 times of your g into your L plus L by 2 is nothing but of your 3L divided by 2. So everywhere this L will get cancelled. So this will become for me 12g. This is your torque. Torque is nothing but 12 into g, now weight of the body. So 12 into g is equals to m into g divided by 2 plus 3 3s are 9. 9 into g divided by 2. Isn't it? So I need the mass. So everywhere this g, this g, this g will get cancelled. So it will be 12 minus 9 by 2 is equals to your m by 2. So LCM is 2. 12 2s are 24 minus 9, that is equals to m by 2. This 2 will get cancelled. 24 minus 9 is 15. So m will be equal to your 15 kgs. Good, beta. Mass is 15 kgs. Done, beta? Okay, bye, beta.